Hey, it's your girl Kim Brooks, and today I want to do something a little bit different for video. I just saw Black Panther, y'all, and that movie, oh my goodness, that movie was amazing. And I wanted to do this video on why I believe every black person should see that movie. Now, before you kind of be like, what? Everybody should see that movie, not just black people. Well, I do agree. Every person should see the movie. Every race, every gender, every person, because it has a lot of great themes. It's based on an iconic Marvel character from the 60s. So yeah. However, I wanted to do this video today specifically to for black people to see why it's a great movie to see for us. Okay. I had never heard of the Black Panther Marvel character before seeing the movie because I was never into Marvel comic books. I just recently started getting into it because I have a friend who's big on Marvel, and actually I went to see Thor with him, and I like Thor because I normally like romantic comedy type movies, so action is fine for me as long as it has like a romantic element in there. So I like Thor, and so when he was talking about Black Panther, like a lot of people, I was kind of like, Black Panther? I'm thinking about the Black Panthers from, civil rights era. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I don't know if a movie Black Panther based on that, it may not be good for today's, climate. But then he explained to me how it was based on the Marvel character. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I decided to go see it. And plus, I saw the premiere, the U.S. premiere. I was like, wow, all the buzz kept starting to come up. And I was like, okay. So I went to see it. And let's just say I was not prepared for the experience that I received after watching that movie. So I wanted to share with you again some reasons why I believe every black person should go see Black Panther the movie. I'm not going to put any spoilers in there, so don't worry. I'm not going to give away the movie, but I'm just sharing why I believe black people should go see it. All right, so I got some notes. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Let's see. The women. Now, I love, as you guys know, I love issues pertaining to women. And I love the women portrayed in this movie. They were strong. They were powerful. But they were there for each other. They had each other's back. There was no competition. They were unified in their aim and in their purpose. And they were one. That was beautiful. And then also the different hues represented in the movie, the different colors and all the beautiful melanin was beautiful on camera. I mean, just watching it was just beautiful. And the reason I think this is so important for us to see is because growing up, I was born in 77. So growing up, I grew up with the hip hop era. And I was always like a happy-go-lucky little girl, loved everybody, peace and love, all that. And I had friends. I didn't look at color. Like when I had friends, it was based on who I connected with. And growing up, I never was really teased about my complexion, but I noticed that I would be ignored. Like I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all in Detroit, you know what I'm talking about, Boblo boat. Back in the day, it was a boat, and it led you to this amusement park, and you went across the water to get to it. And I remember my best friend at the time, she was fair-skinned, and there was me, and then there were other people, and it was almost like I was trying to get in on the conversation, but they only spoke to her, and then these were people of different races and things like that. And so I kind of felt left out. I kind of felt sad. And even when it came to, like, I was always into, like, boys and things like, ever since elementary school, I was always into boys. That's probably why I write about relationships and boys and all that, because I was always into it. But I noticed that my friends that were fair-skinned, they often would, if I liked a boy, they would like her. because they may fit into that category of, back then it was like light skin, long hair, oh beautiful, and then if you were dark skin, it was like you were unseen. Like I remember Lupita Nyong'o said in her interview to People, she said she was thankful for the cover as one of America's most beautiful people because it shows that we're seen now. And I'm so grateful for this movie because it showed so many different hues and so much beautiful dark melanin and different shades that now young girls growing up, they can see that on film and feel seen, feel appreciated, feel honored, and feel beautiful. Because growing up in the movies, you often seen the love interest. If it was a black woman that was a love interest, she was, you know, fair-skinned, and if it was a dark-skinned person, she was either the villain or the y'all remember what was that movie? Poetic Justice, Regina King's character, or you got, I remember Jason's Lyric, how it was like one whole side, the good side, the pure side was all light skinned, and then the evil side, you got Treacher's character, and then the other characters, they were all dark skinned. And that's how over the years the media portrayed dark skin. And then even when it would switch and try to say, well, dark skinned woman can be a love interest, it would be more like she's more like a sex kitten or like a vixen, like a Foxy Brown or something like that. Not anyone you would take home to mama or marry. So what I love about Black Panther and Nakia's character, Lupita Nyong'o's character, Nakia, she represented a beautiful woman who was, even though they were like boyfriends or whatever, you can still see the deep concern and the love interest and the mutual respect. And then she was more, as far as with T'Challa, the king, she was more like his comfort, his rock, his strength. I mean, you could tell all of that. And that's so much more than what we are used to seeing on film as it pertains to dark-skinned women. So I greatly loved and appreciated that because I wish I would have had more of that growing up. I mean, I thank God, by the grace of God, it took me to be in my 30s and to finally get that confidence that I needed, but it wasn't there when I was younger. So I'm thankful that now with Nakia's character, she can show women that you can be beautiful, you can be strong, and all the women represented, not just Nakia's character, but you can be beautiful, you can be strong, you can be desirable, you can be a woman, you can be a black woman and be a love interest and be vulnerable, beautiful, empowering, strong, all those things. So it was great. I love that. So the women, the country. I loved how Wakanda was represented as a beautiful country in Africa, a progressive country full of technology. It just, to me, it shows the possibilities of countries in Africa. It takes away from a lot of the stereotypes, because even me growing up, you would see on TV images of, these countries in Africa, they're just impoverished, third world countries, and I bought into that because those were the only images I would see. And I remember I sent out a daily devotional for single women Monday through Friday called The Single Heart, and it goes out to thousands of women globally. And I recall sending one out, and I may have mentioned something about a country in Africa, and someone replied and was like, I'm from here, and your comment, basically it was like she felt it was offensive because it fed into that same negative portrayal that I saw, and that's all I saw. And I empathize with her comment because I think about me being born and raised in Detroit, still here, how people have such a negative connotation of Detroit, thinking we're some impoverished city. And I've been here all my life. I mean, the only images that you see on television are the negative ones, the worst places in the city, and all of this negative stuff. And so a lot of times people, they like to label what they don't understand or what they have no exposure to. Because most people that make generalized statements about whether it's cities and countries or whatever. In most cases, they've never even visited those places. They're just going by what people are saying, what the media is portraying. And I just thank God with the Black Panther movie, how they portrayed Wakanda as this beautiful country in Africa, because it's beautiful, period. I mean, I recently did my DNA test results, and I found out I'm 85%, my ancestors are from 85% Africa, and from, I'm 85% African, and half of which is Congo, the other half Ghana. And so I've been doing a little research about it, and I found out about the different rich minerals that are in those countries. And I believe those countries and many others are beautiful. We just haven't quite tapped into the resources. And also I've been reading about how other countries like America may value more than what they receive for like mining the minerals. They'll get like next to nothing, and then in America they would buy it off of them next to nothing, and then they would sell it for all these astronomical amounts of money, because you know they see and know the true value in what they have. So my prayer is that in the countries in Africa will see and know the value in what they have as far as the minerals and the beauty and the beautiful things. And so definitely the country as represented in the Black Panther. I have here great for kids, great for this generation. Yes. The fact that kids can see a movie where it's portrayed in a positive light. African Americans are portrayed in a positive light. I had someone, author colleague of mine, I spoke to her yesterday, and she was hesitant about seeing the movie because she said, well, it's a mainly black cast, so I don't want to go if it's a whole bunch of swear words. So I was like, oh, no. You know, I had to let her know that it's based on a Marvel comic book, and, you know, so I had to let her know. So it's kind of sad that, I mean, that was a stereotype in and of itself, but it's sad that she even had to, like, think that may be the case. So, but the good thing is that it's not the case, and for this generation, they can see us in a positive light, empowering light. I mean, the fact that I love the message. I'm not going to go into it, because like I said, I don't want to do any spoilers, but the message of the movie from the beginning to the conclusion, and when you see that message in there, it's so positive, powerful, and also just for the kids coming up now and the millennials, how they can see that there is no limit. You know, they say the sky's the limit. There is no limit. And the only limit they have is what's on their mind, but this movie shows them, as it has the young girl, her character, Zuri. No, not Zuri. Shuri, the teenager, the scientist, the little sister, the princess. How she was just so smart and technologically advanced, and young girls can look up to her, and it may spark in them an interest in science and things like that. And it shows us as more than just excelling in sports and excelling in arts, but it shows us excelling in science and also being wealthy. You know, it shows that we can aspire to great things, and we can have aspirations, and we can be loyal to each other and help each other for a cause and be supportive. I mean, that Black Panther is a great movie, great for kids, great for this generation. How it helps African American filmmakers or economy as far as filmmakers. Wow. Okay, so the fact that this movie is backed by, of course, it's a Marvel movie, so that means automatically it's a global movie. I mean, I was watching yesterday some of the releases in South Korea, and European release. I mean, it was like, oh my goodness, Kenya. I mean, all over it was, and the reception was wonderful. I mean, you have a mainly all black cast with a black director Coogler, Ryan Coogler, and it's showing how not only can it be done, it can be done with a bang, be widely accepted and appreciated. I mean, as of now, the numbers are over 300 million mark. I'm sure it's going to be way higher than that in a few days. But it just shows, again, the limitless possibilities. So what this does, it opens up so many more doors for not just movies like it, but movies with more African Americans as actors, actresses, and opens doors for directors and producers. And as we continue, it opens doors for even producers to have their own studio, like Tyler Perry, or have their own distribution company. I mean, it just shows that there's no limit because it's been done through this movie. You know, like the word says, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of a testimony. Well, this is the testimony. This is something that we can see and we are experiencing right before our eyes. Just because it's all black cast doesn't mean it only has a black audience. It's a widely crossover audience, different countries, different races, different genders, crossover appeal, wonderful universal topics, and it's a wonderful movie for humankind. It's a wonderful movie for humankind. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm just geek. What else? Let's see. How it encouraged me. Wow. Okay, so as a content creator, as a writer, I've been blessed to publish 6 books, 3 of them novels, which is actually my passion, is fictional type writing. And my latest one is with Simon & Schuster, She That Findeth is a spin on He That Findeth a Wife. And I actually created a movie trailer for that a couple years ago, and I kind of slept on it a little bit, but now we are in the process of looking for a home for it as far as, you know, for production and things like that. But I said all that to say, seeing this movie, it gave me a new fire, a new motivation to do whatever necessary to put it out there to the masses. And it causes me to want to tap into the superpower that God has given me as a writer. And I know whatever God has put in you to do, the movie will do the same for you. So, I mean, just seeing them walking in who they are, unapologetically, unashamed, not needing permission from anybody, conquering, defeating, being victorious, and standing together. That movie, y'all, it's more than just a comic book movie. It's way more. It's a cult classic for the culture. It's a cultural, game-changing movie for the black culture and for anyone who chooses to watch and experience it. So I'm thankful. I'm excited. As far as some of the characters, I had a couple notes from some of the characters. I don't want to give away any of the movie at all. Like I said, this is no spoilers. So a few of the characters, T'Challa, the king. What I liked about T'Challa is how he was a very humble king. You know, he stood in who he was. He knew who he was. I loved how he walked. He was like, you know, command and authority. And but he respected those that supported his mission. Like, even his sister, you know, he respected her as a technological mind. He respected, of course, his elders, the Ramona character, Angela Bassett, Zuri as the elder. He had great respect for them. And even his Okoye, the head of the Special Forces agency, he respected her. I mean, he really respected all of them, regardless of gender, position, or anything. He had a lot of respect. And then he walked in who he was as king of a great country and as a hero, a superhero to the world. So I really appreciated T'Challa's character. Killmonger, oh boy. Killmonger was scary, y'all. I was like, what the world? I appreciated his character because I like how they gave enough backstory about his character where you kind of could possibly relate to his response or why he's even the villain. I think it's a good example, even for young men that may have had similar circumstances to him. They can probably relate. And I don't want to give away any of the movie about him, give away too much. But basically, he was a villain, but I could empathize with them. And so that's a great feat if you can cause the villain to be somehow, you know, understood or have empathy for the villain. But he was definitely a villain. He was scary. Nakia, I kind of mentioned her character. That was Lupita's character. I loved how she was a beautiful, classy woman of substance who knew who she was, and she encouraged the king. She, of course, they had feeling for each other, but even that was respectful. I mean, you could tell he wasn't just looking at her because, oh, I want to hit that. I mean, you know, you could tell there was genuine respect for each other, even in the fact that they had history and the fact that they still had feelings for each other. And that was beautiful. So with Okoye's character, I think she did a great job representing loyalty to country. She was a very strong woman, very beautiful woman, and she just had that feminine energy mixed with strength. You know, she and Nakia had that together, so I thought that was great. Shuri was a teenager. She did great. She was like the positive energies, the positive force in the movie. M'Baku was like the first opposer, I guess, in the movie. And his character was like, oh, Lord, where is he coming from? But then he kind of challenged T'Challa. He challenged him by challenging status quo, basically letting them know they can do better. So I thought that was cool, and I'm not giving away what happens with that, but let's say M'Baku ends up being a great forward-moving force in the movie. Zuri, that was Elder, so we talked about that, and that was Forrest Whitaker's character. Very positive, very respectful, wise elder, represented tradition. And yeah, so I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but I'm excited. I want to see it again. Great movie. I definitely recommend it, and I think it was just a life-changing movie. So, all right, thanks so much, and this is again Kim Brooks, and like I always say, be and stay encouraged. Kim Brooks, aka KimOnTheWeb.com. Peace.